Updated, and I see it says live.
Live.
Woohoo!
What's up?
What's up, my brother from
So,
another mother?
so we've been talking to lots of interesting people
Yeah.
and lots of folks that were on the training the other night. By the way, people are really digging the A to A process. In case you didn't already know that,
Awesome.
People I'm talking to are regularly referencing the A to A process and how much of a kick they get out of that. So we should definitely do a webinar specifically on the A to A process.
I agree.
It makes people laugh their ass off. It's great. And it's very educational and useful all at the same time, you know?
Yeah. So it seems.
But one thing I've been learning, one thing I've been relearning is when working with teaching people how to build a successful online business, right? It requires definitely the right mental attitude
For sure.
from the client. But the right mental attitude isn't the only thing. There are some other advantages that make successful clients more successful more quickly and more easily. Basically, some clients, some entrepreneurs are just coming with more arrows in their quiver, right? And so I'd like to talk a little bit today about what types of businesses, what types of entrepreneurs, what types of business owners are perfectly poised to crush it online right now while like the entire world and the entire economy is in total chaos. Who is in the perfect position to just pivot, to crush it and to go online and blow things up, and who has the cards stacked against them, right? I want to be focused on the people that are perfectly poised,
Okay.
however, because I've been talking to a lot of them. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
So one thing that the pandemic, that Corona, that the virus, the COVID has done. I love it when people call it the COVID. Like
It's
like
do you have the shingles or
the COVID, right?
Yeah. Or you're
the
going to get
COVID.
on the
COVID did
Facebook.
it. The COVID did it. No, but what I'm finding is that businesses of all sorts are dramatically impacted by everything that's going on. I've been talking with salespeople who made their living doing face-to-face sales that can't do that anymore, at least not in the same way, and they're kind of up shit creek trying to figure out, kind of that up shit creek without a paddle, that old saying. Haven't used that in a long time, but that'd be a good email, I think.
That would be a good email.
Maybe that should be tomorrow's video, up shit creek without a paddle. That'd be pretty funny. So salespeople are having a hard time. I got off the phone with someone who has a long-standing music store, and foot traffic is quite a bit lower than it used to be, right?
Yeah, I would assume so.
There are all sorts of factors here, and what I'm finding is that there are businesses that have been playing around with going online for a while. And when I say playing around, I just mean they're not devoting their full-time effort to, because they're devoting their full-time effort to what's working in their business and their core real business.
Right.
Whether you're a restaurant,
and so it's been an interest, but not a necessity.
Right.
Yeah.
Whether you're a restaurant, whether you're a dentist, whether you're a chiropractor, whether you're a massage therapist, whether you're a locksmith, whether you're it goes on and on and on.
Right.
Whether normally customers come into your business or normally you go into people's homes for your business, we're getting together less now.
Yep.
And people are afraid to go into your place of business, and people are afraid as like a plumber, an electrician, a handyman, anybody that works on buildings, especially homes.
Yeah.
Or does private visits to homes as part of their work, also severely reduced. And so the businesses that have already recognized and realized the importance of building a database of customers and clients, who have an email list, who have a phone number list, and who are staying in touch with them sometimes.
Yep.
okay, are perfectly poised right now to make the shift
Yep.
because they already have the list. Now, maybe they're not doing a very good job of selling products and services to their list yet. Maybe they don't know how to write copy. Maybe they're not in touch with
Well,
them.
they're thinking that, hey, Jacqueline, what's up? They're thinking that there's something, it's like you fall into the trap of gravity not applying here,
Right.
in the online world. And so that they forget that it's still about building relationship and rapport, and it's a gradual unfolding that takes place.
That's right.
So, and in some respects, it's a lot easier to do it online. And in some respects, it's a whole lot harder to do it online. But at any event, when you're used to doing it one way, and then you shift into the online environment, it can become like, like you stop thinking like a person building relationship, or that all of the mechanics that worked in terms of building your present business, you throw that out the window instead of saying, hey, wait a minute, what worked offline when I was first getting started,
Right.
and how do I adapt
Apply
that?
Yeah. Adapt and apply. Right.
Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
I had a conversation with one guy who can write copy, but doesn't like writing copy. Okay, who has learning disability issues, reading and writing related issues, has gotten through all of that, and has managed to become a writer, a trainer, a teacher, an educator anyway. But they don't, and I'm being vague on purpose because I don't want to point anybody out, but they don't.
Without any.
They don't enjoy the process of writing copy, and are really resistant to writing emails to their list. And when I pointed out that they could just do videos every day instead of writing, and like have a sentence in their email with a link to their videos, it just opened up an entirely different world of possibility. And so there are so many different ways and mediums by which we can communicate with people. If you're used to just communicating with people face to face, right? Like figuring out how to do that online in a way that's going to work for you and work for your clients.
And let me just also speak to that just for a second, because two thoughts came up when you were talking about writing copy, and you got good at it. And he, like you and I, have learning disabilities. I mean, we're like, all three of us have the same issue.
That's
and
right.
It's really funny to me, because when I first got into this guru teaching game back in 2003, after actually having real life success in the real world before getting into it, people used to praise me for being a phenomenal copywriter, and I'm not. I'm really not a copywriter first. There's something that happens when I've got to explain the story. I've got to tell the story. Then, like, there's something in me that I have to say that nobody else can kind of explain the way that I can explain it. Then it has to come out. And then I write a really good, copy, whatever you want to call it. But I'm just telling the story from my unique perspective. So that's point number one. Point number two is that if you're thinking of writing copy, or like writing emails, or talking to people on video or whatever, as doing something to them, and you hate that process of like compelling somebody to act or convincing somebody to take action, then you are too much in sales mode and convincing mode, and you need to take a step back and look at how can you serve your clients, and how can you provide value and insights to them, and in so doing, have them be grateful to you and take advantage of whatever it is that you're offering.
So check this out.
Go ahead.
So if you're a business owner and you're working on opening your online channels up to replace your lost revenue, so if you're going through, if you're struggling, if you're a business owner, you had to get some of the small business loans and some of the cash injection from the government in order to make it through, we're talking to you, okay? So what's going to happen when that money runs out, which it's running out right now, as we all know?
Yep.
What's going to happen is your business is either going to succeed or it's not. It's either going to make it through or it's not. And so what's going to make the difference?
Well, and here's a guarantee, though. You can't sit around and wait.
Right.
Like if you don't shift, it's not going to bounce back. The solutions, the cures, the vaccines aren't going to be here quick enough for it to be effective for you by not shifting. It's not going to spring back to the way it was. Maybe eventually it will be, but I think we're looking at well over a year from this date before it's back to quote unquote some semblance of normal and trust and faith in by all counts of people out there. So here's the guarantee. If you don't take this on and shift, you can pretty much take to the bank that it's not going to be pretty. If you don't adapt, if you don't figure this out, if you don't, like put your ass on the line and dare to step in it, in spite of not feeling 100% confident or scared out of your mind, either ends of the spectrum.
Well, here's the or at least one of the interesting opportunities in that, though,
Mm-hmm.
right? So I heard about something interesting going on in California right now.
Yep.
What's going on is people are throwing parties. Big ones. Big mansion parties.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Mostly because everybody's pissed that they have to hang out by themselves all the time, and they're like, fuck you, we're going to get together whether you like it or not. Now, I'm not going to say anything about whether that's right or whether that's wrong, because it's both. But what I realized is that there's this deep need that we all have right now for human connection.
Absolutely.
And not just one-on-one, in groups. And I'm a pretty antisocial dude. So the reason that I'm saying this is because people are, in California, apparently, buildings are just getting shut down. What they do is if there's the way the police are fighting back now is that if people are throwing a big party, and even though it's illegal, they're just shutting down power and shutting down water. Boom.
Yeah.
Everybody's, people aren't going to keep hanging out if the music stops. And so that's a pretty, interesting response, probably gets the job done, but it doesn't change the deep-seated need for human connection and in groups. And as a business owner, okay, if you happen to be an existing business owner, whether it's an online business owner that's looking to grow, or whether it's an offline business owner that needs to grow online because people aren't walking into your business anymore, for whatever reason, you have one very special thing that no one else has. And what you have is the network. You have the people. It's your job to throw the party and get people connected. This is the one thing that you have right now that people today, specifically because of the pandemic, are desperate for more than anything else. And you're at the epicenter of it all within your business and within your community of people that do business with you. And so if you have some glue, if you have the connective thing, the niche, the area of interest or the problem that you solve that your clients and customers all have in common, that gives you the reason to throw the party. That gives you the reason to throw the party. So here are some of the elements that if you have, the more of these you have in place, the easier it's going to be for you to blow things up online and really get things worked out quicker and easier with less difficulty.
Can I add something here?
Please.
Because I don't want people to misapply this, right? So very typical what somebody will take away from this type of advice, which is awesome, by the way. I couldn't agree with you more. They'll say, well, let me do a Zoom webinar, and they'll call it a Zoom webinar rather than I'm throwing a party for blah, 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 blah. Whatever the topic is around the subject matter that they've got the network that you just so eloquently explained. So, you could do that via a Facebook group. You could do that via these live streams. And I was just thinking about when you were explaining things from your point of view, that one of the things that's been a saving grace for me is us talking every day like this.
Yeah.
And it's not just you and me, although, that's the main interaction. That's the main connection point. But it's everybody else that shows up, that asks questions, that, the regulars, as well as the people that show in from time to time, and the comment and give us the feedback. I feel a sense of connection with that, and that is fulfilling to me. And it just so happens that we're hopefully doing it in a way that's providing value around areas that we can provide value in, right?
That's right. That's right. No, it really is. It makes a huge difference. And I went through many years where I was doing webinars, sometimes, or teleseminars, sometimes multiple a day, certainly many times a week. And then I would end up having a meeting every day with my team as a group in the morning, Monday through Friday. And then I'd have, lots and lots and lots of social interaction, especially when I had a huge staff, right? We're all working from home, lots of interaction, both with customers, with clients, and with my team. But what happens is when you're in startup mode, when you're a one-man, one-woman show, one-person show, and you're operating in your own little bubble, and you're trying to keep yourself motivated, and you may or may not have a partner, and they may or may not be supportive of you, like a life partner in what you're doing. They may or may not understand what the heck you're doing. It's very lonely. It's very difficult. And going through that process of really building out that connection and network, it's a wonderful thing. And it's very, very, very fun. So yeah, I'm super happy that we're broadcasting every day, and it's so great. It's so great. Michael Sullivan says, totally.
Oh, what's up, Michael?
I think a good strategy for online is the simple fact that you can actually personalize the meeting more than you could in an office setting. My customers meet my dogs. That's right. My customers see me in my business clothes, and then I stand up.
Michael, do you still have Molly? Side note. Molly was a yellow lab.
A dog and not drugs right now.
No. No, Molly was a yellow lab, or hopefully still is a yellow lab that my dog Sasha got to be like best buds with.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. So, and when sorry to cut you off there, but when I saw customers meets his dogs, I just immediately had that trigger. And one question that I do want to ask Michael is how he made the like he's always been into automation. He's always been into. Oh man, sorry to hear that. Molly passed away. Oh, bummer. Sasha's still around, and she's going to be 12 next month. Anyway, I think that he could really speak very powerfully to how he did the transition to make it more of a connection in a virtual space, and how to help some of our listeners that are struggling to shift from offline to online.
Absolutely. All right. Let's see. So let's talk about a few of the important pieces that you can use to really catapult your success if you're moving into focusing your business and your attention on the online space, right? So these are the leverage points. If you have these ingredients already in your business, the more of them you have, the faster you're going to be able to hit success, the faster you're going to be able to make progress. So number one is, do you have a list of customers and clients? Names, emails, phone numbers. Yes or no? If you have a list of previous customers and clients, that's the single biggest asset that you could possibly have.
Or could you put one together? Like, I mean, you may not have it in an active format, but could you cobble it together on the slips of paper, the sticky notes, or the spreadsheets here and there? Could you put one together if you had to?
Yeah. So having your list assembled is great, or getting it together. And then the next piece to that is, if it's already loaded up into an autoresponder, like Constant Contact or MailChimp, or if you're more of a marketer, any of the other 1,000 of other options that are out there, right?
Right.
Is it broadcastable? could you send an email to that list 10 minutes from now and press the send button and have that go out to your 5,000 people or whatever? If so,
or 500
or whatever the number,
or 50.
Yeah. Do you have and I don't mean through your Gmail, I don't mean through your Hotmail account, right? I mean through a legitimate sending platform. If you have that piece in place, it's one more gold star. All right, it moves you one step along the path. So next piece is, do you have a product or service that you can sell to them, that you've sold to them in the past, right? Do you have something to sell that you know how to sell or have the capability of selling? Yes or no?
That doesn't require face-to-face.
That's right. Or maybe you just don't know how to do it other than face-to-face.
Right. Maybe it needs some adaptation.
There's very little that actually requires face-to-face. I mean, massage therapy does require face-to-face, but it doesn't require face-to-face in order to teach couples massage or self-massage online, right?
Yeah. Insert your funny joke here.
That's right. I just was thinking that as I could see the look on your face.
I almost said self-massage right before you did.
That's right. So
the happy endings class. Sorry,
that's great.
I digress.
So let me tell you one of the next things that can be really helpful is not being shy. And what I mean by that is, are you camera shy? And camera shy in particular is a great question, because are you willing to get on camera and do things like Facebook Lives? That's what I'm asking.
Well, and let's also define shy too, because I am shy.
Yeah,
that is my nature. I'm an introvert. I do not. What?
You're shy, but you're willing to get on camera and do it anyway.
Yeah, but my way of is like, what you see is what you get. Stupid shit like I just did. And so like I think also that people, particularly in the offline world, they try to be too professional, too different from being a real person, and people don't buy from entities, they buy from people. It's regardless of what you're selling, it's a person-to-person conversation that creates the relationship. Anyway, go ahead, Tillman.
No, I totally agree. And so one of the really interesting things about live video right now is that you can use live video, whether it's on Facebook, whether it's on Instagram, whether it's on Twitter, whether it's on YouTube, or LinkedIn has a thing now that's in beta for some people. And there are many others. Live video is cool because it allows for the type of interaction that we're having with you guys right now, right? Like Michael just typed in 100. I don't know exactly why he said 100.
I'm wondering if that means like 100% in agreement.
Yeah, I think it's like the 100, like the 100. But so that's just happening.
But I also just don't want to lose sight of the 2 bits of information that Michael shared before, and I'm hoping that you'll get to that after you're done with your thought here, because I think it's brilliant what he just shared.
Cool. Absolutely. So the point here is, what are the ingredients that you can bring to the table in order to really ensure your success building a platform online and really bringing your business online? And if you're willing to get on camera and you're willing to interact with your people live, it gives you 2 amazing things. The first thing that it gives you is a communication tool that you can use in order to deeply and personally connect with your existing clients and customers on a daily basis that essentially costs nothing or next to it. Okay. Right now, other than paying $30 a month or $50 a month to restream, like, we are doing this for free. Okay. Really good. We have our own channel. We have our own cable channel for free. Yeah. There's no cost.
Almost a network, because we're going out to so many different channels simultaneously. So we've got our own network almost.
It's amazing. And so not only does it give you a communication channel to your existing people to deepen that bond, to deepen the connection, and to sell the types of products and services that you have available to those people, but it simultaneously gives you the ability to get in front of new people that you don't currently have access to at all. It becomes a traffic source as well as a communication channel for your existing people.
Sure.
It's an entire communication ecosystem. And so if you're willing to get on camera and interact with your people and be the face of your business, be the face of your company, be the, the owner of the hardware store that sits in the chair and says hi to every single person that walks in and tips the hat, whatever. It's just so good. It's so good.
It's like, go ahead. I know where you're going, so go ahead and comment on Michael's 3 brilliant observations there, and then I want to add something in too.
Great. Well, we're going to start with customers. Customers like something different. Have the meetings.
And then connected with that is the next one where he said, in unique places, we have to set the tone, and fun is always a winner, and it's up to us to bring the fun and the engagement happen. So, it's kind of like, I think they're tag teaming together where, the customers like something different. Well, connection, having a party, fun, a virtual, whatever party around, something idiotic even, like, generally speaking, I would say that insurance is probably a rather dry subject that a lot of people don't want to deal with. But if you do like I don't know, a fun just, hey, this is a wine sipping party, and we're all going to sit back and clink glasses on the screen with one another here, and share funny stories or whatever. I mean, like I don't have any clue how you're doing it personally, Mike, but I do remember some of your in-home parties that we went to that we were lucky enough, and I remember how it was, the soiree of being able to have hors d'oeuvres and drinks and mix and mingle with people at your house, before you and Dawn moved up to the big mansion. Anyway, that is a powerful combination of things there.
That's right. And very, very, very interesting. Michael goes on to say, I no longer is it a 9-to-5 operation because you can meet just about any time and anywhere in this new world. It's true. Like time zones become irrelevant at a certain point as long as you're awake, right? And he says, I actually work less, but it appears that I'm working more because I'm always available, right? So
is it
cool stuff.
Is it group stuff that you're doing that's working less, or is it just that you have the ability then to meet with people virtually one-on-one whenever the need might arise, Michael? I'm just curious. And there was something that you said that triggered a thought for me, but I lost it, and it was something deep and profound, if I do say so myself.
That's right.
It couldn't have been too good because I lost it.
Rock and roll. So I've been noticing that there are a lot of entrepreneurs out there whose businesses are in trouble, and that the state of the world right now, there are factors that are outside of our control that are hitting our businesses really hard. And I don't normally like to acknowledge those factors. I just want to point out, normally when people tell me that there are things that are outside of the control of their business that are messing with their revenue, or it's the reason that they can't make as much money as they want, normally I dismiss that and call them a whiner. Okay, I think that this is an exception. There's a massive shift happening right now that is making a lot of things difficult for a lot of people, and they're causing us to have problems that we need to solve that we don't know how to solve right now. And if you want some help with that, if you want some help navigating the waters of shifting your business from perhaps what was historically an offline focused business, and you have to go online right now and you have to figure this out because of what's going on in the world, we would be happy to serve you in that. So if you want to make that shift, if you're a business owner and you have some or all of the components that we talked about, and you're really ready to take the internet by storm so that your business can make it through, then just type shift into the comments below, type shift, and then shoot Joshua or I a private message on whatever channel you're watching this on, and we will ask you a few questions about your business and what you're working on. And if it makes sense, we'll get on the phone and have a chat about it. We'd be more than happy to help you navigate the waters. And between the two of us, we've helped hundreds of thousands of entrepreneurs and entrepreneurs to become entrepreneurs.
Oh, is that me or you that just froze? Hello? Well, that's not good. I don't know who's frozen. Hello? Is Tillman frozen? Crap. Tillman! Well, I think that I'm the only one on air at the moment. And I'm not sure what's what. Oh, his computer I just got a text message. His computer just shut down out of nowhere. He's now rebooting. All right, cool. So now that I know that I am still live and it wasn't me that froze, just to kind of tag along what Tillman was saying, and also to comment on, oh, thanks, Michael. I appreciate it. It's weird with the delay here, and I never know whether it's me or somebody else. And Besem, thank you very much for your compliment about Real Deal Guys always putting out good stuff. I appreciate that. Michael talks about the illusion happens because he can take a meeting just about whenever. And, you know, in terms of answering my question about how illusion of him working less, and I asked him whether it was because he could do it virtually or because he was doing kind of group type settings and that type of thing. And so that's what he was referring to there, that the illusion happens because he can take a meeting whenever, you know, like whenever is convenient for everybody, they can make it happen spur of the moment and, you know, rock and roll with it. And there's no prep time. So that what he also commented and said is that my clothes don't even get washed. I'm like Mr. Rogers. And, you know, it's funny. Yes, I am still broadcasting. Sorry, guys. I'm notorious at not being able to do multiple things at the same time. I like to be able to focus on one thing. So, and thank you for everybody telling me that I am still live and for hanging in there with us. One of the things that I just wanted to kind of share with people is that there is a way to transition from offline to online. And oftentimes it just involves a slight adaptation. I mean, you think about like Michael's business. He has an insurance company. And so traditionally he would, I'm assuming, and just making it out. See you later, Michael. Thanks for joining us for the time that you could. And so like he would book in-house meetings perhaps, or in his office meetings, or go out to other offices to conduct those meetings. And so he had, luckily he was doing this prior to the big, you know, out of nowhere pandemic that is an actual situation that, you know, shit happens and we got to deal with it. So he had a head start, but everybody has this ability to sit inside the driver's seat. And like Tillman was saying, we can convert it over into an online business. We can build relationship. Yes, it has to be adapted. It is different in the online world. And not only that, depending on which platform you're using, I mean, or if you're using a combination of them, there are definite specific nuances that you need to be aware of for each, you know, channel by which you're communicating with people. And so it behooves you, and this is another common mistake that I can see people making is now that they're in panic mode, they're in desperation mode. They're trying so hard to create, to save their businesses, which is not an unreasonable reaction, right? Is that we're trying so hard to break through that we start grasping at straws, or we try like 100 different things simultaneously. Well, so let's do Twitter, let's do Facebook, let's do Facebook groups, let's do Facebook Lives, let's do Zoom, let's do YouTube. Yes, let's do all of these different nuances, and where in example that it becomes